I feel like now I'm the best battle rapper in the UK. That's how I feel. When it was the Anarchy final, I believed that I was, but I hadn't shown it. So
And that was
now,
final vindication of that belief, basically.
yeah, um, I really came out of nowhere and really showed what I was capable of during that tournament. And part of that story always had to be I had to take out a big name because I didn't necessarily take out any huge names on the way to winning the tournament, but winning the tournament itself and against someone of Bobby's stature and in the form Bobby was in during that tournament as well, um, was a massive thing for me and really did set me on credible journey as such. The difference is this time is that the fans, I think, believe that I'm the best, but I know that I need to show everyone, whereas it was the other way around before. So it's very important for me, this battle, because I don't want to lose it under any circumstances whatsoever. And one of the driving factors behind that is I know how much it will mean to Bobby to get the opportunity to right a wrong, because in my battle career, one of the main motivations for a lot of it is righting all the wrongs that I did. So I know how important it is, and I know how much effort will go into it simply because of that reason. Because I know that he'll want revenge, not necessarily on me as a person, but on the situation as a whole, where he's openly said he didn't approach it in the right way. He's openly said I was better on the day, and he's openly said that it'll never happen again, where he'll ever get beaten. Um, he never loses to the same man twice. I think it was one of his tweets were, which that's motivation, that's drive behind wanting to right a wrong and go after something you've always felt like you deserve. So it's going to be a very very hard battle, very 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 difficult.
100%. But I think, like all people that strive for greatness, and I really think that's what you're doing based on the performances you've put in up until this point. And again, putting off taking a break to take the UNAM battle. One of the things that strikes me is that you'll use that as fuel to say, okay, you think you're better than me. Okay, I'm gonna show you that you're not. And that sort of championship caliber status and mindset is an interesting dichotomy versus that first battle, because I think one of the things that, having just literally we watched it before we sat down to talk, the line that I think really shocks everyone is where you're talking about the offense he takes on behalf of other people in his realm, and then leading to that bob and weave line that I think most people would have been intimidated to say outright. But the fact that you were kind of alluding to an aspect of his psyche and his personality and execution, it stunned him, and it shocked everyone. And it kind of, that again, it's that thing of, the more people kind of go after you for certain things, and then you come at them with something that's that cutting that they don't expect. It's like, how do you prepare for something like that when he didn't expect it then? And even if he goes in anticipating something to that effect now, he's still not going to see that thing that you bring coming. Like, I really think that gives you an edge against anybody that no one's really had a chance to figure out yet. They haven't really unlocked that code.
Oh, I always try to break someone down as creatively as possible, and try and always include material that's never been said to the person before. That's the main objective I always try and get out of a battle, because that's how you stand out from the rest, rather than following trends of.
You've also made a point of saying that is that's a sign of stardom. If a newbie or a newcomer can say something to the effect of some form of originality against someone that's been around for so long and had everything said against them, that's a sign of stardom. So it's not like you're throwing an impossible barrier or a certain criteria that no one can meet. That's something that you do routinely.
It's what you should do in battle rap. You should aim to break down your opponent in a way no one else has done before, because if you do the same stuff all the time, you'll always get the same results. So if you're always copying other battlers on what their angle is to use against me, I mean, knowing that I am not anything remotely associated with hotel work anymore, and I haven't been for 5 or 6 years, you are not going to get any form of approval, or you're not going to get a nod of acknowledgement. You're not going to get a handshake. You're not going to get a smile. You're not going to get anything out of me from that, because it's lazy. It's lazy writing, because you're just going for an angle that someone else has used, but you're just trying to do it better, and that isn't how the game works. And that's not something I'll never ever make up something on a battle rapper unless I deem it to be truthful in its own right. And again, it's testing, because it's hard to find that in some people. I mean, this Bobby battle itself will be very difficult for me this time around. When I get round to writing, I'll struggle to come up with, because it's going to have to be a complete, polar opposite to what it was in the Anarchy final. That everything's changed, all the tables have turned, all the angles are different. We're pretty much mates, really, really good mates now, like where we spend a lot of time. It's a complete different paradigm of a battle, so to have to approach it in a completely different way. I could just go in like 9 out of 10 battle rappers in the UK now and just do exactly the same shit I did in the Anarchy final, but just try and reword it a little bit and then hope that I get the same result over it. But that would just be lazy, and it wouldn't be testing as a battle rapper either. So, and it's not enjoyable either. It's not enjoyable for fans, and it's not enjoyable in the writing process. So yeah, I always try and be as creative as possible, and I always try and encourage it as well. And there's a lot of newcomers out there that are doing that, and some of the things that they're coming out with in the rounds, I always like make a note of and take the time out to like tell them if it was good. Whereas if something's very, very generic, then you'll know from my response whether I feel like it is. But yeah, that's pretty much what I aim to do in October. I just aim to do what I've always done and find what I believe is a weakness, without necessarily, I'm not into disrespecting people as a person, or I'm not into taking cheap angles on someone. I always try and do it in a way where it's respected in terms of an art form. It's not shock value rap. I don't agree with shock value rap in battles where people go out of the way to dig dirt on someone just so they can bring it to light in a public space. And I feel like the game isn't going that way either anymore. I feel like it is being more respected as an art form, as opposed to making people shocked as to what they're hearing by some ridiculous angle that gets blown out of proportion, and then that battle rapper has to live with it then for the next 6 or 7 battles, when the next six or seven opponents all use the same thing against him. It just becomes a game of Chinese whispers, and I've never been about that. I've never been one to start a Chinese whisper or any battle rapper whatsoever, just to make the crowd react. So yeah, it'll be interesting when it comes around to prepping for him. I'm excited, and I am a bit nervous about it because I don't really know how it's going to go. But I just have to dig deep and get the motivation to retain the belt.